It's time for the longest-running student show on KLPR, Throwin Lopes. Let's send it to the KLPR studios for your one-stop shop for all things Loper Athletics.
Welcome back into Throwin Lopes on 91.1 FM at KLPR. Traeton Harimon joined by Jon Willis, McCormick, and Alex Hammeke, ready to recap another week of Loper Athletics and some other things on our mind. So, how are we doing today, boys?
Doing pretty good. Doing
good.
Well, I guess.
Yeah.
I want to get the feel of the room before we get going.
The feel of the room.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
We got Jordan Love,
Jordan
chilling
Love
over there.
Yeah.
I wish
That's because I'm excited for Sunday.
How good?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
good can you see Alex's
I'm not.
shirt on the? You
Well, I
can't
am.
really see.
Oh yeah,
it.
Alex, stand up a little bit.
Stand up a little bit.
People need to see the shirt.
You either stand up or I make the camera.
Here you go, everybody.
Yep.
It's a shirt of shirts.
Yep, it's a shirt with shirts on it. It's green. It's one of those rugby shirts, the long sleeve polos.
It's polo, not rugby.
Whatever it is.
This is polo.
Yeah, it's a polo.
The sport where the 1% aristocrats of America and all of Europe play
Welcome into the
golf with
sports
mallets
show,
on
Throwin
golf
Lopes
clubs.
On 91.1 FM at KLPR. Anything else you have to say about your shirt?
You all should be more cultured in
Anything
polo.
else you have to say?
Watch the collegiate polo championships. Go North Texas.
Everyone describe your favorite shirt on Alex's shirt.
Our favorite what?
Describe
Oh,
your
I
favorite
get-
shirt on Alex's shirt.
Yeah, which one do you like? Point to it.
Oh,
I like the blue and white striped one.
This one?
Yeah, I like
Okay,
that
the
one.
lion.
I'm kind of rocking with the with this one right here. This
Okay.
Oh, you got the
striped
zebra.
Black and white.
one. The zebra.
That one's
Yeah.
tough. I like
My-
the single blue band with a black outline on the white.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
the one.
yeah,
I
that's
like
a
that
good one. That's a good one.
It's a good
Yeah.
look.
I don't know. I'm kind of rocking with this one.
Anyway,
I
time
like
for-
I like the bumblebee.
With that
I
out
like
of
the
way-
bumblebee.
All right.
With the bumblebee out of the way, everyone describe their favorite shirt. Hope everyone feels happy now. Let's
Very.
get into some Loper sports.
Let's do it.
Let's start.
What should you plug first?
What should I plug first? I already told them what I'm plugging first. You want to guess what I'm plugging first?
I don't know.
Guess.
Twitter poll, right?
Oh!
Wow, I can't believe you forgot.
Twitter poll question. Who is? I don't have a computer in front of me because I have to run a live stream.
No, I got
now.
you. It's right here.
Who would be the most likely to continue trick or treat at this age? You have 55 minutes left to vote in this one. John didn't mess it up this week, so
What's the Twitter at?
we got a tie right now between two guys. We got 16 votes and we got a tie between two guys.
Go
One
vote.
guy.
At
I guess
KLPR 911.
somebody in this room has no childlike wonder. So go vote KLPR 911 on Twitter. Tie between two guys, 16 votes currently. Got to break that tie at some point. 55 minutes to do so. Once again, KLPR 911. Who would be the most likely to continue to trick or treat at this age? John, what do you think we're starting with today?
Volleyball.
You're right. Loper Volleyball gets the monkeys off their back with a 3-1 victory over the Washburn Ichabod's first time since that runner-up season back in 2019. Jon Willis, you were on the call. Let's get your thoughts on that one first.
Yeah, so the more and more, and especially getting to see Washburn in person, the more I'm like, UNK, not only this year, but in years past, has been better than Washburn. I truly believe that. They looked like, when they were rolling yesterday, they looked like clearly the better team against Washburn. I really think it was a mental thing because Washburn came out and they were dominating early in that first set. They were up 9-1 early, ended up winning the first set 25-18. You're like, oh no, here we go again. Washburn's going to beat UNK again. But then they rattle off 3 straight set wins, and it just felt like they finally got out of their heads. They played good volleyball, and I think you really were able to see what the Lopers can do at the height of their power, so to speak. But was really impressed by some of the younger players, Emily Lane and Mia Berg. They were fantastic, both with 15 kills yesterday. To see players like that step up, because you look at Siza, 5 kills, Ferguson 3 kills. They weren't much of, part of the offense yesterday. They got a lot of help from those sophomore and freshman players, and to have that already now with your power hitters, dangerous Loper volleyball team.
I think that's the big thing there. You shut out the All-American and Jaden Ferguson. You shut out Emerson Siza. And this is a Loper volleyball team that could have, as you had mentioned, with the mental block it seems like we've seen, had concerned me a bit. Nobody from that 2019, the last team that beat Washburn, is on this Loper volleyball team today. And I was thinking after that first set, that same concern, especially after they were able to shut down Sizen, shut down shut down Ferguson. The other big thing was that Washburn knew where exactly to attack. They were attacking off the left side. They came out fast and furious. And that was, that's been UNK's MO, it seemed like, all throughout last year going into this year. So really, to me, it goes down to the mental aspect and just being able to push through that in sets 2, set 3 especially. With that one. That one was the set that went to extra points in essence, whether ending 26-24, sure, extra by 1 point, but still extra points there. So big shout out there because it was a game where you're thinking, oh boy, it's not going to be good potentially, and they definitely, surprised everybody.
These freshmen are going to be really fun to watch later on in the future. They're only going to develop and get better from here, and they're already really, really, really good. I mean, Emily Lane and Mia Berg especially, but you also got to point out Addie Mock. Addie Mock had 12 digs. She got pretty good playing time, had 2 assists. But I do want to point out, when Peyton Neff can set up her hitters, it doesn't matter who it is. Jane Ferguson, Emerson Siza, now Emily Lane, Taubenheim's in there as well, Berg's in there, Asha's in there. This team is really, really good because she easily sets up those hitters. Plus the defense was really good. Mia Berg had eight blocks and 15 kills. The freshman had a big game against a big-time opponent. So I think Rick Squires can only look at this freshman class and the sophomore class and really feel pretty positive about the future.
I will say the crowd yesterday at the Health and Sports Center was probably the most electric I've heard it for volleyball. It was the pink out night too. There was a bunch of fans that showed up. A lot of students showed up as well, even coming back from fall break. That was really good to see. That third set when the Lopers were down multiple times in that set, rallied back to win it. That roar when Emily Lane got that kill to end the third set. I mean, it was deafening. I think I blew out my voice for a little bit at the end of that one, but it was worth it, for the big kill, one might say. But no, it was exciting. That was really good to see. And Lopers have so many weapons. Again, the question was that defense. They were able to withstand a very good Washburn attack because getting to see Jalen Stevenson and Rachel Schwenson in person, those are some impressive attackers. And even though they both had 17 kills, they weren't able to dominate games like they have before.
So that's Sorry, Johnny, took the breath out of the room with your great analysis.
Yeah. I was counting something real quick. So the Lopers before that Washburn game went 7 straight games without allowing a single set, and they dropped 1 set last night. So, and might want to add that the Lopers only have 2 home games left this year. They've got 8 games left, and they've got 2 home games, something like that.
That was 22 sets without a loss because I did that for the prep yesterday. So 22 sets without a loss going into yesterday, which was just insane.
So there you go.
What do you think was a bigger punch in the mouth, getting 3-0'd by Washburn or getting 3-0'd by Wayne State?
I'm going to say 3-0 by Washburn. I think that was the wake-up call.
Yes.
I really do think that was the wake-up call.
I think even with the loss over at Memorial Stadium, I think that day was still more about kind of being at Memorial Stadium. But then, you were rolling to start the season. You get swept by Washburn, a team that has dominated you the last couple of years. Then you go on the run that the Lopers have gone on now, winners of 12 straight. And, I mean, you look at the schedule. There's some tough ones. They got Central Oklahoma on Friday, Northwest Missouri again in a couple weeks. They got Missouri Western again as well, Central Missouri as well. But if the Lopers keep playing the way they are, they're going to be hard to stop.
Central Oklahoma and Missouri Western are the 2 matches that kind of have the question, not really question marks. They're going to be victories for UNK, but have the points of where that could go to 5 sets potentially. Edgar Maraca really puts together a great program at UCO year after year, and then the second year for Jessica Fee at Missouri Western, Central Missouri and Missouri Western both going coaching changes after 2 years ago, with Central Missouri having Flip Pionic retired, bringing Jessica Peterson, and then Missouri Western making their change with Jessica Fee. She's going to have that program within a year or two, maybe 3 years potentially, in the AVCA Top 25. They're going to be a team that will be competing with the rest of the league for a spot at the Central Regional.
How far do we think the Lopers are going to jump up in this next AVCA poll?
I'll just give it right now for basis. As it stood on Monday, before the Washburn win, UNK was at number 8.
I should have. That's my fault.
UNK was at 8. Colorado Mesa was 9, Minnesota Duluth was 10. Above them, Southwest Minnesota was at 7, Metropolitan State Denver 6, West Texas A&M the 5. I think they can jump up a couple. I think as well, Southwest Minnesota State I believe they have Wayne State coming up soon. That will be more than likely a loss for the Mustangs. I think they jump up 1, if not 2.
Let's remember the Lopers still have 2 more games before the next AVCA play.
True.
This
yes.
is a big win,
Yeah,
but they
right.
have an 18-3 Central Oklahoma team on Friday, so still a lot to see.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts? Loper volleyball.
Go Lopes.
Go
win.
Lopes.
Big win.
Keep packing the Health and Sports Center for these
Yes,
last
do
2
that
games.
every time.
Do that
All hope.
Every
game.
time, do that.
Shouldn't need extra motivation to get it done. So the Lopers on the road
Let's
for
hope
2 of their
we'll-
games this weekend at Pitt State on Friday, at UCL Friday, at Pitt State Saturday, and then they come home next Tuesday for one of those last 2 home games to face off against the Hornets of Emporia State. That's a look at Loper volleyball on to Loper football. Will Jon make it? Not even close. Everybody saw that.
Wow.
I wasn't trying to. I was just trying to throw it in there.
I got to watch this on the replay system.
So
instant replay.
Oh, where can you listen to that game on Tuesday?
you can listen to that game on 91.1 FM at KLPR. Who's on the call? I believe.
That's a good question.
Oh,
Let me pull it up.
No one in this room, I would hope.
No, I think it's on Tuesday for Emporia State.
Yeah.
I think it's me.
It's Ethan McCormick.
Ethan McCormick will be on the call.
Anyone with him? Just Ethan McCormick?
Just Ethan McCormick.
Just Ethan
Let's
McCormick.
go! Sorry, I'm hyped, guys.
Well, on to the football side of things for a rivalry matchup that
You're. I got to point out the mood and tone of Traeton went from all the way up here all the way down here.
There's a reason why we started with Loper volleyball.
a
today.
rivalry that has not been a rivalry in the last 11 years. Fort Hays wins it 31-17. Lopers can't put a whole lot together on offense. They put up 17, but only had 165 yards of total offense, like Ethan and I were talking about. Before we went on air, Alex.
So 4-3 and outs to start off the game, and then you go 9 of 72 on penalties. That's the line that for me gets me the most, is going 9 for 72 on penalties. All year we have heard detailed, disciplined, and tough. That was not the case at all there in that first quarter. I don't know where. There's like a Warrensburg hangover almost. When you have 3 penalties there in that first quarter alone to add into the 9 for 72, then you have the third quarter situation where we kind of just go astray like we've seen last week against Central Missouri. It's been tough sledding, but you keep sledding. Missouri Western's not going to be any easier.
Again, you saw flashes of what it could be throughout the game. It just wasn't consistent enough. I think digging yourself in a 17-0 hole is really the big story. You can look at the third quarter as well, where Fort Hays put up 14. So even though the Lopers were able to make it a 7-point game at half, I really think going down 17-0 just kind of took the wind out of the sails of the Lopers. And again, defense played well enough at times to win. Only 1 interception for TJ Davis, which is kind of a low this season. We've had a couple of multi-interception games, but Loper defense was able to force 2 interceptions, but they really struggled to stop the rush. Shane Watts kind of ran all over the Lopers, and the Lopers weren't able to get much going in the rush game, only averaging 2 yards per carry.
The Lopers on third down were 2 for 13 on third down conversions, 2 for 3 on fourth down. They did hold Fort Hays State to 2 of 10 on third down, however, but this offense was just abysmal. I will say the conditions weren't great, but I don't think that's an excuse. You kind of got a game plan for the conditions, especially in the Midwest. That wind was blowing 20 miles an hour, but
20 is an understatement, I think. There.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just still abysmal that your offense can't go out there and get you more than 100 rushing yards. You had 74 total rushing yards on 34 attempts. That's just abysmal. While Fort Hays State ran for 235 yards and had over 5.5 yards per carry. That defensive line just was not able to match with Fort Hays State's offensive line. Like Jon said, there were flashes, but it's really hard to overlook 9 penalties. It's really hard to overlook the turnovers sometimes. It's just this team is not where they want to be, and it's just unfortunate.
It doesn't get any easier. Sure, Missouri Western was held to negative rushing yards against Northwest Missouri, but that also plays up a bit to that season finale. Everybody has been down on Northwest Missouri ever since they lost Mike Hohensee for a couple of weeks, and now he's back. Missouri Western's going to be a tough challenge. They've had some really good victories on the year. They've surprised a lot. Emporia State's going to be another tough challenge with Braden Gleason, who's probably neck and neck with Zach Zabrowski for Offensive Player of the Year. You get Lincoln, that's a victory, but everybody has Lincoln on the schedule as a victory pretty much. And then you have Northwest Missouri to end it. This next 4-week stretch for UNK football could make or break next year potentially too. I think I might be pushing a bit too far in that assessment.
Yeah, I think that's a little too early.
Now, the reason why I say that is with the transfer portal. That's something we haven't really had to worry about in years past. But now with the transfer portal being the way that it is, if you look at this team and you look at how the direction of this season goes, which it has not been going good at all, you could see kids just go, boom, I'm out of here, see you later, which would be rather concerning. I think it might happen.
I think we can speculate on things like what could happen as much as we want. I think for now, you just got to focus on what this team is now. They've underperformed compared to the standards that we've had in the last couple of years, especially when you're handed the keys to such a high-powered offensive machine like the Lopers have had the last 4 years with TJ Davis. By the way, TJ Davis, over 10,000 yards passing in his career now. That's something we didn't touch on. Congrats, TJ.
I think that's all-purpose. I don't think
all-purpose?
Yeah, it's all-purpose. He's got a
passing.
receiving yard in there from last year's Central Missouri game.
So 10,000 all-time yards for TJ Davis. Third Loper in history to do that. So that's a good that came out of that. Something for TJ to ride into the sunset with. So Loper football not where anyone wants it to be. What do you want to see out of this team the last 4 weeks to get the wheels back on the tracks?
We've seen flashes.
Clean it up.
Let's stretch all of the flashes together and actually put it into one quarter. It's great that we can have a little stretch here in the second quarter where we can string 4 or 5 good plays together. That has to be more consistent. You can't take the third quarter off. In the past 2 weeks, we've basically seen the third quarter been taken off by the offense. You can't have a start the way that you had in the Hayes contest, where you have 4 3-and-outs to start it off. You put them in a 17-0 hole, and as John mentioned, that was kind of what put things as it was. UNK in the second quarter, however, they made it competitive. It was 17-10 at half. But then in the third quarter, they take the third quarter off almost. And then it's another hole you have to dig out of. I think for UNK, it's keeping the other opponent within our arm's reach, in my opinion. We haven't really been able to do that yet for an entire game this season, with the exception of Northeastern State. That's what I think.
I mean, yeah, consistency, because when the Lopers are working well, they have had success. So just keeping it going consistently, nobody in that locker room, nobody on the staff is happy about how things are going, and so they want to switch things, and you still got 4 opportunities to do that. And I will never doubt that they can't turn this around.
So the Lopers fall to 2-5 now on the year, and they come home this weekend to take on the Griffins of Missouri Western, team that is probably a lot better than a lot of people thought they were going to be coming into the year. 5-2 coming into this one. Lopers are going to have to bounce back and play one of their better football games of the year if they want to get the win against Missouri Western on Saturday. Kickoff at noon. Pregame here on 91.1 FM KLPR starts at 11 a.m. Any other thoughts on Loper football before we move on?
And that's another transfer quarterback from the Division I ranks, Armani Eden, previously at Hawaii, who's now with Missouri Western. It seems like the Div I bounce backs are taking over the league between him and Zabrowski at Central Missouri.
On to our final team sport. Not our final team sport, but anyway, Loper soccer in action this weekend down in Oklahoma for their first of 2 weekends in a row on the road, and the Lopers probably didn't perform the way they want to. In fact, I can tell you they didn't perform the way they wanted to. Lose 2-0 to Rogers State on Friday, and then 4-0 in Northeastern State in a game that was much more lopsided than the score even tells you that it is.
Yeah, 32 shots taken by Northeastern compared to 3 for UNK. Oof. 21 shots in the first half. 15 of the 32 were on goal, but that is pretty rough. I was kind of the one last week that said maybe we shouldn't jump on the train early. This is the first conference win in 2 years. Everybody wanted to say that okay, we're going to start piling these wins. No, this is still a long process. It was good to see the Lopers make that step, but I think Coach Breton knows, and I think this team knows, that there is still a long way to go to make this thing better. And so I think it was kind of a wake-up call to that yes, we were able to get this big win, but if we want to continue to make this thing go, we have to play better, because Northeastern State, they're not great. I mean, they're very, what's the word the kids use? Mid. They're pretty mid. 2-4-1 conference record, and you get outshot 32-3, and so I think we all just need to pump the brakes, realize that this is still a process.
And I wonder if they were starting to get a little frustrated. They had 2 yellow cards within 17 to 18 minutes of each other. Emily Flowers had one in the 62nd minute, and then Ivana Siles had one in the 79th minute. But, yeah, they had 1 shot on goal. Northeastern State had 15 shots on goal. Northeastern State had 16 corner kicks. UNK had 0. So, yeah, that's pretty telling of how their game against the Riverhawks went on Sunday.
Just flat out dominated, and it doesn't get any easier for UNK. Not only are they going up against one of the top teams in the nation in Central Missouri, but they're going to have to do so for the next couple of weeks without Ivana Siles when she goes for her international call-up with the Bolivian national team at the Pan American Games. So that will be that'll make the challenge a lot tougher. I don't think Central Missouri's still in that range where they are high up enough. It's not going to be an outright victory. But Missouri Southern, you were thinking before Ivana would leave, that could be potentially a game to watch. It definitely gets a little bit harder for the Lopers. I think it's still one of those games that could be a victory. So, albeit I'm probably a bit too optimistic, maybe, but I'm going to run the optimism train until the wheels fall off for Loper soccer this year.
Talking with Coach Brenton, he talked about this team does good things, and then they kind of get back into old habits that they've done in previous years. And I think in Northeastern, the contest against Northeastern, all of the bad habits from years prior came back. They were playing defense the entire game, couldn't get any shots off. That's one they got to look at and be like, we can't play like that if we want to be successful in the future. Yeah. Any further thoughts on Loper soccer?
They got 4 games left.
4 games left.
2 more home games, 2 on the road. They're in Missouri this upcoming weekend.
Also, still not totally out of the MIAA tournament. It's unlikely, but they are still technically alive. Central Oklahoma right now is in that 8th spot with a conference record of 1-2-4. The Lopers 1-4-2, so they would need to win a couple, but not totally out of it yet.
So it could be a year that ends on a good note, but first, they got to head down to Missouri this weekend. Central Missouri on Friday, one of the top teams in the nation. You heard Alex say it. And then Moso, one of the bottom teams in the conference, as they head to Missouri Southern to take them on at noon on Sunday. A couple of sports that ended their fall seasons this last week. Tennis closed things out down at the ITA Cup, and golf also ended their season down in Warrensburg for the Central Missouri thing. I don't have a computer.
Here. Let me.
It was the Central Region Preview. I want.
No, that was
the Midwest Classic. Yeah, the Central Missouri thing.
Said that at the same time.
The Central Missouri thing at Mules National Golf Course.
Jinx, y'all owe me a Coke afterwards. Thank you.
It was on the tip of my tongue.
Here, let me tell the people what happened. So at the ITA Cups total between Jasmine Zamorano as well as Maxim Kulish, 3 total wins between the two. Jasmine Zamorano got all the way to the consolation finals, so a pretty good run for her at the ITAs. Women's golf finished 8th out of 20 at the Midwest Classic. Juliana Botero Molina once again led the charge. She finished in 8th on the leaderboard. Allison Comer and Claire Bergquist both tied for 21st.
I shouldn't say both these teams wrapped up for the fall, because the men's tennis team has one more thing. They host Washburn, I believe.
Washburn invite in Topeka.
It's in Topeka. They go to Washburn. That'll be the last event for the tennis teams. Women's done. Men have one more event. Golf is now off until the spring as well. Until March. These are 2 teams that I think these are 3 teams, I should say, that we have to be on the lookout for when the spring season rolls around, because we got some good talent all the way around.
Yes. Yeah, there it is, and we saw it in the fall. We got to get a good preview of it, so excited to see what they do in the spring.
Very excited for the men's tennis team personally, because I think they got
Yes.
some guys that can play.
Some dudes?
They got some dudes, some would say, that can play some very good tennis
They
for
have
this
some
team.
guys that might be hymns.
They got some
Oh,
hymns.
dear God.
That's horrible.
They have some hymns on the team.
So be on the lookout for men's and women's tennis, along with women's golf, who are looking to continue their recent success in the spring. Any other thoughts on tennis or golf? Seems like you guys are just ready to chat about it. No?
No.
Well, I know someone who is ready to chat about something.
Okay.
Missed something.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
UNK men's cross-country team sent their JV squad to the Platte River Rumble. They finished 8th out of 11th. They do have the MIAA championships coming up on Friday. Women will run at noon. The men will run at 12:45. So best of luck to the cross-country teams at the MIAA championships.
Also today, you missed something, John.
What'd I miss?
The Fall Ball World Series
Oh,
for
that's
Loper
true, yeah.
softball is today at 5 p.m.
Wow.
Against themselves.
Against themselves. They're going to play themselves, and they're going to come out of winners and losers.
So what? Do you get a World Series trophy for beating your team?
So someone
here?
get on the UNK softball Twitter, because they said they were going to
Yeah.
announce how the scoring worked for this, because they announced the teams earlier today.
Yeah.
But they were going to announce how
All
scoring
they're saying
works.
is they're playing 8 innings.
They're playing 8 innings,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
they've got
So
a Facebook
here's
Live.
I got the point system right here. So game win, you get 15 points. Inning win, you get 10 points. Pitcher points go as follows: outs gets 4 points, strikeout gets 3 points, earned run minus 10 points, and a walk is minus 3.
Minus
Defensive
10.
points
Wow.
go: initiate a double play is 5. You finish the double play, you get 5 more points. You throw out a runner from the outfield, it's 5 points. Catcher throws out a runner, that's plus 10 points, and error is minus 10 points. Hitter points: home runs plus 40, triple
Jeez,
plus 30, double plus
40.
20, single plus 10, a walk is plus 10, a hit by pitch is plus 10, stolen bases plus 10, and RBI is plus 2. Caught stealing is minus 10, and
Okay.
a strikeout's minus 3.
This is bad. Like, not bad, but you don't like pitchers don't have as many opportunities to earn points. You get only 4 points for an out, 3 points for a strikeout. But if you get a single, you get 10 points as a hitter.
I agree. What if you get like a fly out? Or I guess an
Yeah.
out, but then you
Trey,
get
why don't you tell us your opinion on people who get singles and run the base?
Hey, look.
Yeah.
If you get a lot of singles and you lead your team in stolen bases, you're not my guy personally.
You're
That's
not
all
a-
I gotta
you're
say.
not a hitter.
You're not. If the slugging, you're not a slugger. That's all I gotta say about it. There's a lot of more things I could say, but I can't say them in this current setting.
I feel like we're not giving the pitchers enough opportunities.
Well,
no.
okay, I guess
Here's
how
the
else
thing,
do-
though.
where
It
else
is
do you
2
reward-
teams. It's not just pitchers versus hitters.
Where else do you
Yeah,
reward
yeah.
points though? Because when you look at
well, I'm saying give them a little more for a strikeout. Like strikeout should
Right.
maybe be like plus 10.
What about a strikeout looking? Like a strikeout looking.
Yeah,
is
strikeout
10.
looking should
the
be plus
fact that
7.
an out is more than a strikeout, though, I think is weird because a strikeout's
Yeah.
more impressive than an out. if we're being honest.
I think a strikeout should be worth more than just a regular out.
And if
Right.
you're a hitter and you ground out, minus 40. I don't want you grounding out on my team.
Here's
Dang.
why
it's flyouts or strikeouts.
Flyouts only. If you're
I
not going
like-
down hacking, I don't want you.
Okay, here's
If it's
here's
not
my
a
hot
catch
take.
right at the warning track.
I've got a hot take. I like the minus 10 for the earned run on the pitching.
I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
so
just
it's not a
lack,
hot take.
It's just a lack of giving pitchers points for a strikeout.
Give me
Minus
5 for a
10.
strikeout. Give me 10 for a strikeout looking.
I like
Who would
that.
have thought this was going to be the
So-
I
hottest
like
debate?
that idea.
So okay, so if there's not an inning one, no points awarded.
Correct. That's
Okay,
how
that's-
I interpret.
So there's a team winner and top
An
5
individual.
for individuals. So this I'm interested to see how this ends up
You
finishing.
guys want to go watch some ball?
Go watch some ball. When does this start?
5.
5?
Yeah.
Yeah, if we
Writing.
leave here at 5, we'll get to the field around 5:30 with how far away they are, so it could work out.
Right,
Plus they're
writing.
playing 8. Yeah.
Here's what I like about that. The UNK pitching staff last year struggled a bit, and they lost Sidney Thomason in the transfer portal. So the only pitcher you have from last year is Maddie Rosenthal. It's also worth mentioning Faith Gaynor also left the team. I haven't been able to find if she transferred to a JUCO somewhere in California. She's originally from California. But nonetheless, you've got one returning pitcher, Madison Rosenthal. You have 2 transfers and a freshman. That pitching staff will need to get things figured out pretty quick, especially with the fact that you only have 1 returning out of a bullpen of 5 last year, which is never a great sign, in essence. That's all that I've got. Is it mailbag time?
Let me close out softball.
Yeah.
I thought
So
you
if you
were
want
done
some,
with
so if you want
softball.
some controversial softball in the world of the KLPR sports staff, swing on by Patriot Park Is that at Patriot Park? They bounced it around a
Yes,
couple of
5
times.
p.m. and it's on Facebook Live as well.
Facebook Live.
Wait, it's at the World Series?
Yeah.
It's at Dryden.
See, they bounced it between Patriot and Dryden. So
You
I was
and Kay
wondering.
tweeted out Patriot.
Oh, on their website, their website says
Well, then
Dryden.
Peter's slacking.
Peter's slacking.
Hold on a
what are we
second. Hold
doing?
on a
Yeah.
second. I don't think Peter's in the wrong on that one. He was given the schedule, and then if they made the change like this afternoon, I mean, you make the change this
Six
afternoon.
hours ago is when it was tweeted out.
Okay, yeah,
I think it
Patriot Park, yeah.
changed on the
10:23.
website.
Patriot Park.
That's my fault.
I
guys.
think it changed on the website a couple of times, so Peter was finally like, okay, you know what? You're playing wherever you play.
Yeah.
You play where you play.
All right.
And figure it out.
Loper softball wrapping up their fall with their Fall Ball World Series, which is their blue-gold scrimmage here in Kearney as they look ahead to the spring. Guys, can we get a drum roll, please?
No, just start it.
Alex Hammeke, take it away with the MIAA mailbag.
Thank you for your enthusiasm, John. I really appreciate it. Let's move on to the football polls to start things off. We have a new number one. The Ferris State Bulldogs fell this week in the Anchor Bone Classic against the fine, mighty Lakers of Grand Valley State University, and Grand Valley State with a 49-28 win bounces the Ferris State Bulldogs from the number one. The new number one is Colorado School of Mines. They're now at the number one spot. Pitt State rises to the number two now in the AFCA coaches poll that was released on Monday. Minnesota State's the number three. Grand Valley State is rewarded with they're rewarded with a 3-spot jump. They're now number 4. Delta State is the number 5 now in this week's poll. And the former number 1, Ferris State, they move all the way down to number 9. Other schools from the MIAA in the AFCA coaches poll: Central Missouri is at number 16, and Emporia State is at 24. Those schools were also in the D2Football.com poll. Missouri Western, on the other hand, who was in the D2Football.com poll last week, was bounced after their loss against Northwest Missouri State on Saturday. Moving on to the AVCA Terraflex Division II Women's Volleyball poll, Wayne State, the number 1 again this week, followed up by Concordia St. Paul at the number 2, Tampa at the 3, and Missouri St. Louis at the number 4. West Texas A&M is number 5 in the week's poll. Looking at 6 through 10 with a little bit of a shift, not too much. The 6 and the 7 are the same. Metropolitan State of Denver at 6, Southwest Minnesota State at number 7, followed up by UNK. They jump up 1 spot to number 8. Colorado Mesa jumps up another spot to number 9. Minnesota Duluth jumping up 2 spots to number 10. Thank you. Your mic's not on there, Mr. Willis.
Go Huskies.
There we go. You spent the summer in Duluth, didn't you? Meanwhile, St. Cloud State, who was in the top 10, they were number 8. They drop all the way down to number 13. Other teams from the MIAA include Central Oklahoma at number 19, Washburn at 21, and 3 teams. Well, okay, technically 2 teams from the league receiving votes, as Central Missouri and Northwest Missouri State are receiving votes, and the future MIAA member, Arkansas Fort Smith, receiving a handful of votes. That's 5 in this week's poll. I mentioned it earlier, and I'll bring in the United Soccer Coaches poll for the week. That was released yesterday. Looking at the league results, currently at number 8 is Washburn. They had quite a big jump. They went from 23rd ranked to 8th ranked. Meanwhile, the Central Missouri Jennies went all the way from 8th ranked to 17th ranked. There's a reason why I don't mention the USC poll every week, because it fluctuates literally every time you blink an eye. Let's take a look at your league players of the week. We'll start off with football. On the offensive side of the week, it was quarterback Braden Gleason from Emporia State. He was also named the Division2Football.com player of the week for Emporia. On the defensive side, it was Jake Fisher from Northwest Missouri, and on special teams, it was Northwest Missouri's Noah Gastella. For volleyball, offensive player of the week was Taylor Russell of Missouri Western. Defensive was Jaden Evans of Central Oklahoma. Setter of the week was Lindsey Horan of Central Oklahoma. On the soccer athletes of the week, offensive was Kaylee Rock of Northwest Missouri. Defense was for Lucia Fernandez of Northwest Missouri State. And goalkeeper was Reagan Wells of Washburn. Taking a look now at the D2 football side in general, we've had our first D2 football coaching change. St. Augustine's fired Howard Feggins earlier this week. He's been fired after 6 games. He played an ineligible player against Virginia State on week 3. It didn't make a difference. They lost 55-12 anyway. And looking at the NCAA overall, Charlie Baker, the president of the NCAA, asserted in an op-ed for The Athletic that, and I quote, "For far too long, rules meant to govern and protect one generation of student-athletes have been broadly applied to a generation whose needs and priorities have shifted dramatically." Talking about NIL change and other things that the NCAA needs to do, perhaps with Congress's help as well. Also, silo scheduling might be returning to a league not named the MIAA for football, with Jamestown potentially joining the Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference, our conference neighbors to the north. Minnesota State Mankato Athletic Director Kevin Bussman told the Mankato Free Press's Chad Courier that they might be switching back over to the Silos schedule if the Jimmies joined the NSIC in Division II. It's worth mentioning last week that the Jimmies were ousted from the GPAC, the Great Plains Athletic Conference, after they were announced that they'd be potentially leaving for the NCAA Division II. And at the Title IX side, 2 NCAA Division II schools were cited by the Department of Education. Grand Valley State and Saginaw Valley State complaints filed against them. It wasn't just them in the state of Michigan. Michigan State, and Eastern Michigan were also receiving Title IX complaints in regards to their support for women's sports. Data from Champion Women shows that Saginaw Valley State and Grand Valley State are 8th and 27th largest participation gaps in the country. That's all I have for the MIAA mailbag this week. Now back to whatever is coming up next.
I think that was 85% NCAA, 15% MIAA.
There was
5 minutes, 17 seconds on the time today.
The worst.
I had, it was 60% MIAA.
If anything, 60% NCAA.
No, 60% MIAA.
Okay.
Well, believe it or not, you still have time to vote in our Twitter poll question that ends at the top of the hour. Sorry, you guys were arguing.
Wasn't really arguing, just a slight disagreement.
What's our Twitter poll question of the day? Oh, yeah, it's who would be most likely to continue to trick or treat at this age?
Break the tie.
Tie still exists. Only 16 votes. You guys are slacking. Go vote in our poll. Do it now!
Whoa.
Jeez.
2 guys are tied.
Traeton.
Somebody has no votes. I'm kind of hurt that no one thinks that this one person has any childlike wonder for their regard. But nonetheless, so we take a break now.
It's because you're
And
yelling
on
into the
side,
mic.
Hey, on the other side, Pick'ems and Husker Chat here on Throwin Lopes on 91.1 FM KLPR.
Hi, I'm Alex Hammeke, host of KLPR Daybreak. Join me weekday mornings, 7:45 to 8, for the news, weather, sports, a check of the markets, and the KLPR community calendar. Everything you need to know before the 8 a.m. lecture starts. KLPR Daybreak, 7:45 to 8, weekday mornings on 91.1 FM.
Davis is going to scramble up the middle. He's got a hole. He cuts to the outside on the near side. He's going down the 30, down the 20. Nobody's going to catch him. Touchdown, TJ Davis, and UNK takes the lead. You can listen to every home Loper football game live on KLPR 91.1 with student broadcasters from your very own University of Nebraska at Kearney.
Cystic fibrosis is a life-threatening genetic disease that affects 30,000 people in the U.S. 1,000 new cases of CF are diagnosed each year, and there is no cure for the disease. The Cystic Fibrosis Foundation has been dedicated to improving the lives of people with CF since 1955, in hopes that one day they can find a cure to this deadly disease. Join the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation in their efforts at www.cff.org or your local chapter to donate or join the cause. Help the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation and help those living with CF to find a cure today.
Welcome back to Throwin Lopes on 91.1 FM
That was hot.
KLPR. Traeton Harimon, Jon Willis, Ethan McCormick, Alex Hammeke back with you. Time for some pick-ups. Let's take a look at the standings first.
Let's
in
not
first
do that.
place still.
Do we-
Oh, no,
This
no.
is my segment.
This is
What
your
are you
segment?
doing now?
Yeah, oh, you think
Get
you've run
outta
everything
here.
anyway?
Jeez,
All right, Jon Willis,
Louise.
take it away.
All right,
Do we
Traeton won the week last week with a record of 4-2. Both myself and Alex tied with a record of 3-3.
Yeah,
Ethan
no, we don't need to share
continues to
that.
be at the bottom with a record of 2-4.
I quit.
Overall standings, I'm in first place with a record of 22 and 24. Traeton gaining some ground. He's in second place with a record of 20 and 26. Alex is in third with a record of 17 and 29.
Uh-huh.
Ethan is in
Yep.
fourth with a record of 14 and 32.
This is for fun, by the way.
Let's start out with
If you're bad.
Oh no, actually the loser has to buy us all pizza.
I don't hate
I
that.
swipe you and Alex into the calf every Monday.
How many pizzas do 3 other people need?
Well, I need one at least.
Okay.
Okay,
no,
so
fine.
who
No,
decides
hey,
what
hey,
pizza
hey,
place
hey,
we go
hey,
to?
That's fine. I'll buy you guys pizza.
Domino's
It's on me if I lose.
Domino's is $7 a pizza if you do
I got
that
it.
mix and match.
It's on me, guys.
Little Caesars is cheap too.
It's
Little
on me.
Caesars is
They're
shit.
hit or miss.
I'll make everybody a pizza.
Anyways, let's get into the pick'ems.
I'll buy you guys
sourdough.
pizza. I don't
No,
know.
Big Big Ten matchup to lead off our thing. I think it's Big Noon kickoff,
Yep.
so get to hear Gus's annoying voice.
You chicken back there?
Penn State is at Ohio State. Ohio State is a 4-point favorite at home.
This one's interesting to me because I have not been impressed with the way Ohio State has played football. Just watching them on TV, I don't think.
Plus Penn State, impressive win over UMass last week.
Yeah, that's a big win.
Yeah, well, okay.
The Minutemen.
Able to sneak by the punter for a touchdown on punt return. This one's tough. Give me. My heart says Penn State, but I also know it's going to be Ohio State. Give me Ohio State.
Cover?
Win by a field goal, no cover.
No.
Ooh.
Next.
Northwestern almost actually kind of snuck around Penn State earlier in the season. I'm still going to go Ohio State.
41-13 is almost
Well,
stuck around.
Ohio State. Listen. Ohio. That game was tied at half.
Okay.
I think if Penn State does that against Ohio State, they're screwed. I'm gonna go Ohio State.
Yeah, Maryland
covers.
was tied with Ohio State at the half. So are we saying that?
I'm gonna go Ohio State covers by 5 though.
Okay.
The Fightin' Ted Carter's cover.
That's Ohio State, right?
Yes.
Okay.
They're not
Because
fighting for Ted
he's
Carter
leaving
yet.
for the Ohio State job.
I think this has been the best chance for Penn State to finally dethrone the top of the Big Ten East. And so even though I think Ohio State might win it, I'm going to stick with what I said about Penn State at the beginning of the year. And I am going to choose Penn State to pull off a big road victory. Next game, Tennessee is at Alabama. The Crimson Tide are a 9.5-point favorite at home.
We're all tied.
Cover?
Yeah, Tennessee's not what they were.
I don't think any of these teams really are spectacular. I think Alabama's a little overrated. I'm gonna go Alabama no cover.
I need to do some research here in the old Tennessee.
Who did they lose to?
Let's go through the games. They're coming off a 20-13 win over Texas A&M. They have also beaten South Carolina. They lost to Florida 29-16
Okay, yeah.
I will say-
earlier in the season.
Alabama has played down to some of their opponents though. Like Alabama kind of struggled a little bit against Arkansas. KJ Jefferson had a pretty good game against Arkansas.
True.
So I think, and Arkansas is 2-4. So I think, or something like 2-3, 2-4. So I think Alabama can potentially play down to some of their opponents. So I think this could be an example of that.
Everybody's going Alabama.
Go Tennessee then.
Well, I don't know.
This is a hard game, Alex.
This is a hard game. I'm going to go Alabama, but I think it's only going to be a touchdown win.
Yeah, I will also choose Alabama no cover. They haven't been that impressive. They both barely beat Texas A&M, and so that's why I'm like, it'll be close, but Alabama will win it. So that's kind of my reason. Duke is at Florida State. Big test for Florida State, who has championship aspirations, and so they are trying to take down the Duke Blue Devils. What do we got in this one?
Did Duke lose their starting quarterback?
Riley Leonard,
Because I know there was that game where Sam Hartman was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go say hi to the other quarterback. He got hurt," and there was a guy. Everybody made it a thing.
Duke star quarterback could return versus number 4 Florida State.
I will take
So,
a
yeah,
healthy
they'll-
Florida State over a hobbled Duke.
Yeah, because they'll say Mike Elko says there's a chance Riley Leonard will be back for FSU. So it doesn't sound great.
And even when there's a chance that it comes back, you're still going to have to deal with the welcome back to college football deal when you've been playing.
You chose cover, Traeton.
I did choose cover. Thank you.
And it's kind of that shock right back to reality, especially if you didn't really practice that much. I'm going Florida State. Seminoles will cover.
same here. Florida State cover.
You guys went so fast on that pick. I have to type these all out. Give me 1 second.
Okay,
that's
just
just
copy
ASMR
and
or-
paste.
I will take Florida State to cover as well. Even if Riley Leonard was healthy, Florida State looks like a wagon this year. So I will take Florida State. Utah is at USC. USC just got smacked in the mouth by Notre Dame.
They did.
Don't
Who do
remind me.
we got here?
Someone else can start this one. I got to think about this.
Yeah,
Utah is USC's
Also,
kryptonite.
what did I say about USC and their stupid defense?
Yeah.
Not
that's
very
what
good.
happens, bud.
Didn't
I
help
just,
that
I just
Caleb
don't
Williams-
like. I don't like Notre Dame. I'm sorry. I've gone over it.
It also didn't help that Caleb Williams threw 3 picks and essentially kind of exited the Heisman conversation.
So I'm gonna go. I like Kyle Whittingham. And I'm going to go with Utah.
Is Cam Rising back? I really haven't seen a
He's
Utah
back,
game.
but he's not playing, is he?
Okay.
I think I was about to say, I'm only going with Utah more because, A, they're a future Big 12 team.
Utah or
Nate
Rising
Johnson?
did not play in the last game against Cal.
Okay.
Huh.
So, yeah.
Well, it was against Cal.
But, Alex, you already penciled in Utah. You can't go back.
Yeah,
now.
I'm going with
Traeton
Utah.
and Ethan?
I hate USC, and I like Utah.
I'm going to go Utah as well.
You guys are idiots.
Go Utes!
USC will cover this spread. They are going to bounce back. Utah, I think, has been incredibly overrated. I mean, they scored 7 points against Oregon State. So.
Utah, like Traeton said, sorry, I'm
Go
thinking
Jays.
basketball, has been kryptonite. Like last year in the Pac-12 championship game, I believe it was, Utah pretty much dominated that game against Caleb Williams. So I don't know.
Utah,
Kyle Whittingham's got
He does.
Lincoln Riley's number. So
He
I don't
does.
know. You never know.
I just like Kyle. He's a good guy, and they have really cool uniforms.
Yeah, Utah's uniforms.
I'm
Their
either
Rose
gonna
Bowl
look really
uniforms
smart
are the coolest.
or
The
really
rose on the
stupid
helmets,
next
Yeah.
year.
those
So
are
we'll
some of the
see-
best helmets.
We'll see
in my
how
opinion.
it ends up working out.
So yeah.
All right, we're going to switch it up a little bit on you. A little Mountain West action.
Oh, yeah.
Colorado State is at UNLV. The Runnin' Rebels have had an undefeated start to conference play. Who wins this one?
I gotta find this game.
That is the most shocking stat I have ever heard in my life.
UNLV 5-1 on the season. They are 2-0 in conference play. Their only loss was to Michigan. They lost 35-7.
And that was a Jim Harbaugh-less Michigan.
UNLV no cover. I think
My dad is going to be so excited that we picked this game. He's a big Runnin' Rebel guy.
This one's hard
For
because
basketball.
I don't know. I guess Colorado sucks. So I was going to say Colorado State played pissed off against Colorado, but I don't think that was the case. I think they just are evenly matched.
Yeah.
Give me the.
Give me the.
Okay, let me say
Alex,
this
you go
much.
first.
Yeah. You look at their conference schedule. They went up against FCS Bryant and blew them out of the water. UNLV then traveled to Michigan. Michigan blew them out of the water. Then they went to Vanderbilt, the school that doesn't have a stadium pretty much.
That doesn't
built
matter.
right now.
No, that's a home game for UNLV.
Okay, that was at home. But this is still Vanderbilt.
That's also still an SEC team playing
Yes.
a Mountain West team.
But it's still Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is Vanderbilt.
Those are two very different conferences, though.
No, I get
Mountain West is like borderline Power 5.
that, and that is true, yes. And the SEC is the goated conference in college football. But that doesn't mean that every team in the SEC is like Georgia level. You've got to have somebody at the bottom of the freaking barrel, and that's Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's only in the SEC because that helps them with their academic rank.
Oh, yeah, impressive range of wins for Colorado State to Utah Tech, who doesn't even have a logo on Google.
It's because Utah Tech was
Wow.
formerly Dixie State.
Yeah.
And
The Trailblazers.
Yeah. They still are the Trailblazers.
I can design him a logo.
My internet's not working.
No, John can design him a logo. John, you're a little bit of a graphic designer.
It's true.
Yeah. He
Can't
cooks.
confirm the reports. What's your pick, Alex?
I don't know.
Train says UNLV.
That's
Cover
a
or no cover?
Ooh. I'm gonna
8-point spread.
Hey, the Mountain West is crazy. Give me no cover.
No cover.
Do we have a Mountain West game?
This is the
Coming
Mountain
up
West
here
game.
today?
Yeah, this is our Mountain West game.
No, I'm talking about like.
No, we
usually
got
they do.
Florida
We don't have
International and New
Maction.
Yeah,
Max.
Maxon's on Thursday nights.
Not
Okay,
tomorrow night.
You guys are just haters on Vanderbilt. They only lost to 17 to number 1 ranked Georgia.
I think Georgia's
That
slightly
is
overrated.
impressive.
I think also that's a combination of that and Georgia's
Well,
slightly
we can't
overrated.
keep saying every team in the top 5 is overrated.
I think Michigan is not overrated. I don't think Michigan is overrated. I don't think Florida State's overrated.
Alex, what's your pick? You have no time to type
I
anything
don't
else.
know.
EDU Rome Wi-Fi. Jeez Louise.
Dude, it stinks.
Did you make a
Bad
pick?
right now.
Ed Jerome's working well for me.
Okay, make your pick.
Okay, fine.
Dude,
UNLV,
The people are waiting.
they're not going to cover. UNLV, no cover.
They're gonna win by 8.
I'm really. I don't know why I picked because I'm 14 and 32.
Yeah. Whatever Ethan goes with, you should not agree with.
Yeah.
I'm going to go UNLV cover.
If you want betting advice, pick the opposite.
Runnin' Rebels are on a roll this year. Rebels. Go Rebels. They'll win this one. And cover. All right, final game. Nebraska's back in action after scraping by the bye week this last week. They just won that game. Final score of 20-17. Nebraska won it. They are now 11-point favorites at home against Northwestern.
Nebraska's going to cover.
I think Nebraska covers as well. Northwestern put up 297 yards against Howard and only beat them by 3. But on the flip, they did beat Minnesota in overtime, but I think Minnesota's not very good also. We could have beat Minnesota. But I'm going to say Nebraska.
Did you see the final touchdown in that Minnesota-Northwestern game?
No.
They completely messed up that final drive. And that final play especially. The Golden Gopher defense was abysmal.
Okay.
Now I wait for Elijah Mosier, our resident Gophers fan, to jump all over me.
I don't. I'm going to make my pick.
Allowed to.
I don't know about 11 points spread for Nebraska's offense.
Yeah.
That one's tough.
But I think it's the defense that I think is pretty much giving Nebraska this spread, I think. And it's a home game, and I think it's the defense in the home game because Northwestern's offense is worse than Nebraska's offense.
And you got to remember,
and yet
Northwestern
still beat a team that we only put – they scored 37 on a team we scored 13 on.
That's fair. But, yeah.
So...
But also got to look at where that game was played at during the season.
Yeah.
That was Nebraska's first game of the year. This was –
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Northwestern doesn't have a head coach either.
I think we're kind of on the same mindset here, John, where this
Yeah.
one's a tough spread, but we know who we want to
Plus,
pick.
Nebraska has a history of not covering spreads.
Yeah. All right, John, we're going to say it
very-
together. 3, 2, 1. Nebraska no cover.
Yep. That is
Like
what
a
I'm
bunch
feeling
of
as well.
sorority girls.
It's such an odd thing to say.
What was that, dude?
You want to sing the Alpha Zeta Data theme song?
You
while
were
you're
the
at it?
only one that knows
Nope, no one knows what that is.
I don't know it.
You
I don't even
just
think
want to
Alpha
learn?
Zeta
You think we're
Data
going to teach you?
exists. I just kind of pulled 3 Greek names
Do we need
together.
to pull up the video of you at Sorority Rush Day? I'm here at Sorority Rush, baby.
Let's not.
Is that a
No,
thing that
let's do
happens?
Oh, this is a video. He
I've
was
never seen
standing on
this.
top of this podium with all the sororities in the background, and he's like going around with
It's
the camera.
KLPR Snapchat Action News. Thank
I'm
you
at
very much.
Sorority Rush, baby.
Did they cheer with you?
No.
Oh, no one noticed you.
They probably looked
I
at me
think
and
I
thought,
saw a couple dirty looks being shot up his way.
They probably looked at me and thought, who's the creepy guy standing up on a band podium?
I feel like... Never mind.
Well, that's probably what they were thinking. Once they saw me talking with Todd Gatula underneath the podium, like, oh, okay, he's with the media. But, here's just some rando with
Media?
a phone camera.
Covering a sorority event,
with a
media.
phone camera. That is the most old man thing I've heard you say.
I'm going to get the tele camera.
Hey,
I'm going to get my phone camera out.
Fellas,
Take a picture of this event.
Oh,
we got the oh, what's happening now?
Anyway, ignoring the YouTube chat.
Elijah Mosier, the Gophers will not beat Iowa. Thank you.
They won't win another game this season.
Well, I'm not going. I'm just saying they're not going to beat Iowa.
Actually,
Don't give Elijah whiteboard
Hey,
material.
I was
material.
I don't care.
Iowa's MVP right now is their punter.
So they're at
How does that make you
Iowa.
feel?
Goated.
At
that's what
Iowa,
I'm talking about.
loss. Home against Michigan State, loss. Home against Illinois, win. Road,
I will say Illinois.
Road Purdue, loss. Road Ohio State, bloodbath. Home Wisconsin, loss.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I see the rest of the season
Yeah,
going for the Golden
Illinois.
Gophers.
Yeah, Illinois just beat Maryland too, so I think that
The best part is that the Illinois public media guys were right in front of me at the Illinois-Nebraska game. I was like, yep, this season's over. We just lost to Nebraska. We're going to lose against Maryland. We're going to lose against everybody. The season's done.
they're 3-4 though. They could still make a bowl.
Yeah, but according to those two, the season was over like 2 weeks ago. That was the best part about it. Now they're on a roll. Anyways,
Sorry,
Minnesota.
I got another fun reply to my dad getting hit by a car tweet.
Your dad was hit by a
Some
car?
context.
Oh, you haven't seen this?
I shall clip this and send it in the group chat Saturday. Okay, you do that.
All
Have
right.
fun.
Clip it, chat.
Chat, clip it. Tag me on Twitter. But yes,
Oh, man.
everybody, Josh is fine. I know there was some worries after my tweet today. Josh is totally fine. He was hit by a car yesterday, but he said he just felt a little bit sore. He's doing great. That's the update from Omaha.
Oh, I just saw the tweet.
Yeah, he got an Omaha scanner. He sent me that. That's how I found out. He sent me it and said I'm famous.
That is the most Josh Willis thing I've ever heard.
He just shook it off.
You know what else I saw on Twitter? The Twitter poll question for KLPR 911 this week: Who would continue?
Wow, what a transition.
Who would continue to trick or treat at this age? 17 votes. We're up 1. You got 3 minutes left to vote. Tie has been broken, ladies and gentlemen. So if you really want to bring it, make it close again, get in there and vote. 3 minutes left to do so. KLPR 911. Who would be the most likely to trick or treat at this age?
I don't know how we can move on after that. I don't know how we continued this show. That was too good. That was too good. 10 out of 10 transition there.
Traeton, you're hosting every show from here on out.
Gotta have monster transitions like that each week.
Yeah, what can I say?
You gotta get more creative each week, though.
Yeah, it gets a little worse every week is what that means.
Well, we've got the video stream as well. For those of you who are watching here on YouTube, you know what you got to do now, Traeton. You got to go and have fancy props and such, so you can go. And
I think your shirt is the prop.
Take it off.
What?
I don't think the
Sorry,
viewers
that
want to
slipped.
see that.
That slipped. Sorry.
Ethan.
I'm hungry.
All of this. I mean, all of a sudden, it's okay. All of you can vote at home. Either it's this shirt, which yes is kind of ugly, and kind of ugly is an understatement, or it could be me shirtless. And what do we all want?
Voting for the shirt.
Exactly. All of a sudden, the shirt is the best thing on planet Earth.
Why can't you just wear a normal shirt?
Yeah.
Because I saw this on Target and I thought, it looks kind of okay.
I saw this on Target.
You
on the
continue to
website.
add to your age
it
with
was
your
on the
words.
website, mind you. It wasn't in store, because I think if I'd have looked at this thing in store and thought this thing looks good, I think that's when you all could publicly execute me. But this was an online purchase. Online. It's a lot different than in store.
You know what else is online?
The KLPR poll. Hey, we got a phone call.
No, everything.
Oh, we do.
We
Why
do.
is it on line 2?
I don't know
show
why
is
it's on
over.
line 2.
Why is the call coming in on line 2? Who's calling in right now?
Hello?
Yes, you were on air.
Yeah, who's this?
This is Michelle McKelvey.
Hello. This is
I do not
KLPR
want-
911
I don't want-
FM.
I don't-
Hello.
You're live on the air right now.
I don't want your insurance.
I think that was okay. So that was Michelle McKelvey. She's associate dean of COE, and she's a professor in in communication disorders. I bet you that was a wrong number.
Yeah,
call.
I think so. Well, that was weird.
That or she was just, yeah.
Maybe she's just really into the show, guys. Quit being mean.
She's into
Well,
the
then
show.
she would have said
Ethan
something.
tells somebody that they don't want their insurance. He doesn't even know what they're
Yeah,
talking about.
yeah,
It
could've been a scam.
You should have
Yeah,
heard
could
her out
have been. You
first.
should have
Yeah,
waited till they
Ethan.
brought up the
Hey,
insurance to say we don't want your insurance.
Could have been a scam.
There's not. She's in a. I'll pull up.
Okay,
Let me pull her
be
up
quiet.
on the UNK website.
Okay, guys, the poll ended. Could you believe that? And with a whopping 17 votes total across 4 people.
Actually, it hasn't gone final yet. It says your my stuff, but they don't have the blue bar out yet.
Nope. Well,
Let me pull it up.
I know it always takes forever after it goes final to actually.
I bet it's
go
like just
final.
counting down the final seconds. Like it's
Yeah.
actually just counting down from 60.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna have a swing in the last
You never know.
5 seconds, so we'll just continue to refresh.
No. I know I'm doing it too.
Oh, there we
No
go.
final
It has
line.
gone final with one more vote.
See, that's
one
why you
more
don't
vote.
premature go.
It wouldn't have made a difference because it broke the tie earlier anyway. In last place, it's myself, Traeton Harimon, who I guess has no childlike wonder left to his spirit. And then John in front of me with 11% of the votes. Alex finishes second, 38.9% of the votes.
They saw the shirt and they realized they couldn't vote for it.
And in first place, with the highest honor of being the most likely to continue to trick-or-treat at this age, Ethan McCormick with 9 of the 18 votes to finish with 50% in first place. Ethan McCormick, congratulations. Is there a there's nothing this week, is there?
What do you mean?
Anyway.
So I have to trick or treat.
Yeah, you have to go trick-or-treating.
Well,
you
we
have to wear a
all.
costume.
It is a yearly tradition to go trick or treating at Ford Clark's house. That's
It
something we
is.
all do.
It's the only thing we do.
Yeah.
We should do that.
None other. Well, and then last year I think we went up to the
Buckle.
haunted house.
That
Yeah.
Buckle
So
house?
that's our tradition. We go get some candy from Ford's,
Yeah.
and then we go walk in the haunted house that isn't really that scary.
I think we should also
I
go
thought that was
to
pretty
other
terrifying.
random professors'
Yeah, but you're
houses.
scared of everything.
I am scared of
Find
everything.
Rob's
Speaking
address.
of being scared, I still have to walk through the haunted house. When is that going to
Haunted
happen?
maze. I don't
Or
know.
maze.
Cannon's
Whatever.
not showing us the tickets.
Well, That's wasted
If it doesn't
opportunity.
happen,
I'll say this much:
That's
you can pull,
content.
if somebody owns a house in Kearney, you can pull up their address on the GIS software. I say that we go to a couple administrators' houses, just randomly trick or treat.
I think the dorms are a pretty good haunted house. Because of how
Oh, hey, look, it's 5 o'clock. You know what that means? This show's over.
Ethan,
For
where
the
are you
wonderful
going
staff
on
here on 91.1 FM KLPR, for Jon Willis,
We'll talk to you
Alex
later.
Hammeke, Ethan McCormick, I'm Traeton Harimon, getting ready to say goodbye to you on this Wednesday night
Bye-bye.
on October 18th, 2023, the day of our Lord. I'm Traeton Harimon. Thanks for listening to Throwin Lopes on 91.1 FM KLPR.